50 million possible life-harboring planets. Somewhere out there during this vast universe there must surely be countless other planets teeming with life, so why don't we see proof of that? Well, this can be often the famous question asked by physicists in 1950, where is everybody? Conspiracy theorists claim that UFOs are visiting all the time and also the reports are just being covered up, but honestly, they're not very convincing. But that leaves a real riddle. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. Some physicists think the system is literally infinite, which it contains an infinite number of so-called pocket universes with varying properties. The theory's been proven true beyond all doubt, but interpreting it's baffling. And a few physicists think you will be able to only unbaffle it if you imagine that vast numbers of parallel universes are being spawned every moment. And lots of these universes would actually be very similar to the globe we're in, would come with multiple copies of you. But still some scientists who will say it's nonsense. The sole meaningful answer to the question of what number universes there are is one. Only one universe. We find philosophers and Sufis claiming that even being this is an illusion. So, as you will be able to see, there's no agreement on this question, not even close. All we all know is that the solution is somewhere between 0 and infinity. Well, I suppose we all know one other thing. This is a fairly cool time to be studying physics. We just could be undergoing the largest paradigm shift in knowledge that humanity has ever seen. In the past year, the Kepler Space Observatory has found many planets just around nearby stars. And if you extrapolate that data, it looks like there might be 500 billion planets just in our own galaxy. Every one of 10,000 has conditions that support some kind of life. This is still 50 million possible planets to house life here within the Milky Way. So here's the riddle: our Earth didn't form until about 9 billion years after the massive bang. Countless other planets in our galaxy should have formed earlier, and given life an opportunity to urge underway billions, or certainly many immeasurable years before happened on Earth. If just some of them had spawned intelligent life and started creating technologies, those technologies would have had several years to grow in complexity and power. On Earth, at the very least, you'd think they'd be revealing their presence, deliberately or otherwise, through electromagnetic signals of one kind or another. And yet we haven't seen any convincing evidence of this. Why? Well, there are numerous possible answers, a number of them quite dark. Maybe there's one super intelligent civilization that's already taken over the galaxy and imposed strict silence. Though for fear of potential competitors, it's just sitting there able to obliterate anything that becomes a threat. Or maybe they don't seem to be that intelligent. Or perhaps the evolution of an intelligence capable of making sophisticated technology is far rarer than we've assumed, or maybe they don't seem that smart. Or maybe the evolution of intelligence capable of making advanced technology is much more fascinating than we assumed. After all, it happened once on Earth in 4 billion years. Maybe even that was very lucky. Maybe we are the main civilization in our galaxy. Perhaps as civilizations evolve, they discover much useful communication techniques for electromagnetic waves. It occurs within the recently discovered mysterious substance, or dark energy. had appear to account for many of the universe's mass. Or maybe we're viewing the incorrect scale. Perhaps intelligent civilizations come to appreciate that life is ultimately so, even as on Earth, clunky stereo systems have shrunk to beautiful, tiny iPods. Maybe intelligent life itself, in order to cut back its footprint on the environment, has turned itself microscopic. So the scheme can be teeming with aliens, and we're just not noticing them. Maybe biological life is simply a passing phase. Well, within the following 15 years, we could start seeing real spectroscopic information from promising nearby planets that will reveal just how life-friendly they could be. At the identical time attempts are made to make life from scratch might be very different from the DNA forms we all know. Perhaps as civilizations evolve, they discover much useful communication techniques for electromagnetic waves within the newly discovered. This will help us understand whether the universe is full of life or whether it is only us who have it, perhaps ending up answering the most important questions about the universe. It's the possibilities, the unanswered questions, that push us forward.